Incredible European cars have been lucky enough to grace the stage at RM Sotheby's, including a €10 million Bugatti Centodieci. But with other top names like Maserati, Ferrari, and Aston Martin also competing, where does the luxurious French automotive beast rank among the top 10 hypercars ever sold at RM Sotheby's? Stay tuned to find out, and trust me, these aren't your average $1 million toys, so let's get right into it. Number 10, Bugatti Chiron 2017, €3.32 million. Kicking things off at number 10 is the jaw-dropping 2017 Bugatti Chiron, which absolutely shook up the collector car world when it crossed the block at RM Sotheby's Paris auction for a record-breaking €3,323,750. You read that right, over €3 million for a car that still smelled new. This was way more than a fast car, it was practically a hypercar time capsule. With less than 1,000 kilometers on the odometer, this Chiron had barely left the garage, let alone tasted tarmac and anger. So, what made this sale explode past expectations? Let's start with that 8-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine that pumps out an unholy 1,479 horsepower. It's a number that turns heads and snaps necks. In the world of speed, this car could hit over 420 kilometers per hour, cementing its place as the king of straight-line performance. But beyond numbers, it was Bugatti's obsession with perfection in its luxurious craftsmanship, carbon fiber artistry, and bespoke detailing that made this Chiron such a big deal. But the key reason this one commanded such a premium? Condition. The car was virtually untouched, in factory-fresh state, complete with original documentation, ownership records, and not a single track session logged. For collectors, that's gold dust. Add in the Bugatti name, a badge that symbolizes old money royalty, modern supercar supremacy, and it was a match made in investment heaven. The sale also had broader implications. It signaled to the collector world that Chirons were no longer depreciating toys, they were appreciating blue-chip assets. This record-setting auction proved that low-mileage hypercars, especially from prestigious marques like Bugatti, were entering a new realm of desirability. RM Sotheby's framed it perfectly. Part engineering marvel, part art object, and 100% collectible. So if you're wondering whether Chiron has aged into a future classic, this €3.3 million hammer price answers it loud and clear. Hey, if you're enjoying this channel focused on the European car market, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, insights, and exciting content coming your way. Let's get back to the list with another true classic that's been making waves for more than 20 years since its first release. Number 9, Maserati MC12, 2005, €2 million. Coming in strong at number 9 is the 2005 Maserati MC12. Hit €2,001,875 under the gavel at RM Sotheby's Paris auction. If there was ever a Maserati that screamed, "I'm here to play with the big boys," this was it. Only 50 road-legal MC12s were ever built, making this a needle-in-a-haystack level find in a world of exotic collectors. It's rare, race-ready, exotic as hell, and dripping in Ferrari DNA. Beneath its sculpted shark-like shell lies the Ferrari Enzo's carbon fiber chassis, packing a tuned 6-liter V12 engine that sings like an opera and punches like a heavyweight. But this wasn't some rebadged Enzo. Maserati gave it a longer, more aerodynamic body, a GT racing-ready spoiler package, and the type of minimalist interior that tells you this isn't about comfort and performance. At the auction, this car was more than a Maserati. It was a symbol of Maserati's comeback era, a moment when they stormed the GT racing world and made Ferrari-level speed feel just a little more exclusive. RM Sotheby's played this angle hard. They highlighted its limited production, motorsport pedigree, and factory original condition. And it worked. This was one of the few modern Maseratis that earned its €2 million price tag. The sale also helped shift the perception of Maserati as a brand. In a world where Ferraris dominate the collector circuit, the MC12 is that underdog champion with the right bloodline, racing scars, and track-focused attitude. It not only looked fast, it had GT1 racing chops to back it up. And unlike many exotics, the MC12 continues to grow in value because it's rare, authentic, and serious. So yeah, €2 million might sound steep, but for what this car is, that's a bargain. It's part of a dying breed of analog monsters with racing roots and true collector cachet. And in that room in Paris, collectors knew they were bidding on more than a car. They were bidding on a whole legacy. Number 8, Bugatti EB110 Super Sport, 1993, €1.15 million. Sliding into the number 8 spot is one of the most underrated titans in Bugatti's long, chaotic timeline, the 1993 EB110 Super Sport, which sold for an eye-popping €1,152,500 at RM Sotheby's Paris auction. For those in the know, this was a prototype supersport car, a machine born in the wild, rebellious era before Volkswagen took over the brand. Let's talk numbers. Only 139 EB110s were ever built, and of those, only 30 were supersport variants. But this one is even more unique. It was a factory prototype, meaning it featured bespoke elements and early-stage tuning not found on the production versions. That included special livery, unique interior quirks, and factory-modified mechanical components. If you're a collector, this kind of one-off authenticity is like rocket fuel for bidding wars. Under the hood sat a 3.5-liter quad-turbocharged V12. Yes, 4 turbos, pushing over 600 horsepower through all 4 wheels. It could blast to 100 kilometers per hour in just under 3.5 seconds, which, back in the early 90s, was borderline science fiction. More importantly, it featured tech like carbon fiber monocoque construction, active aerodynamics, and AWD years before these became industry buzzwords. The significance of this particular sale wasn't only in the car's rarity, but also in the timing. With modern Bugatti models like the Chiron and Divo dominating headlines, the EB110 had often been forgotten, brushed aside as a weird prequel. But this prototype reminded everyone where Bugatti's modern obsession with performance started. This car was the DNA source code. Collectors woke up. They saw this wasn't some retro gimmick. It was a landmark, a museum-worthy piece of performance history. In the end, the EB110 SS had finally arrived as a top-tier collectible, one that blends 90s futurism, motorsport engineering, and that magical word, prototype. Number 7, Ferrari F40 LM 1987, 4.84 million euro. At number 7 sits the fire-breathing 87 Ferrari F40 LM, which lit up the stage at RM Sotheby's Paris 2019 auction, ultimately selling for a massive 4,842,500 euro. For collectors, this wasn't just another prancing horse. It was a piece of racing history with purebred competition roots. LM, or Le Mans variant, is far more than a tuned F40. It was Ferrari's aggressive move into the endurance racing scene. Factory-backed up upgrades developed in collaboration with legendary Michelato Automobili. While the standard F40 was already an icon with its carbon Kevlar bodywork and twin turbocharged V8, the LM version took everything further. We're talking lighter weight, heavy-duty racing suspension, upgraded brakes, massive turbos pushing over 700 horsepower, and all-creature comfort stripped in favor of roll cages, racing buckets, and serious firepower. These were designed to terrorize tracks. What made this particular LM so special at auction was its prototype status. It was one of the very first examples converted for LM specification, a development car used to refine what would become the full-blown F40 Competizione, directly influencing Ferrari's motorsport strategy in the late 80s and early 90s. That historical significance, combined with its well-documented provenance, made it an absolute magnet for serious bidders. The car had also seen actual race action and had been properly restored to keep that balance between originality and functional excellence. With the LM model being so rare and fewer than 20 were ever produced in true LM spec, this prototype offered something nearly impossible to replicate: a blend of engineering legacy, motorsport pedigree, and collector-grade exclusivity. So when the hammer dropped at over 4.8 million euro, it was not more than a big sale. It was a tribute to what makes a hypercar legendary. In the world of Ferrari collectors, the LM is a crown jewel. Owning one's about the power that comes with having a chapter of racing history in your garage. Number 6, Ferrari LaFerrari, 2015, 3.55 million euro. Coming in hot at number 6 is the mighty 2015 Ferrari LaFerrari Coupe, an electrifying blend of Formula One tech and Italian artistry that roared to a hammer price of 3,548,750 euro at RM Sotheby's Paris in 2025. And while some cars get attention for looks or rarity alone, this LaFerrari had both, and performance credentials that made collectors sweat in anticipation. This is the Ferrari of the modern era. It marked the first ever hybrid Ferrari hypercar, packing a naturally aspirated 6.3-liter V12 engine paired with the Kurz-derived electric motor to produce a neck-snapping 963 horsepower. That combo launches the car from 0 to 100 kilometers in just 2.9 seconds, with a top speed flirting around 350 kilometers per hour. But the LaFerrari didn't show only raw pace, it also showed how seamlessly it all worked together. The driving experience is pure symphony, like an analog soul with digital precision. Now let's talk exclusivity. Only 499 coupes were ever made globally, and each was sold to pre-approved clients, meaning this car was rare before it even left Maranello. This particular example had less than 3,500 kilometers on the clock, essentially showroom fresh a decade later. The giallo exterior paintwork contrasted with exposed carbon fiber elements and stunning FFXK wheels elevated its spec from exclusive to virtually one of one. The auction house made sure to highlight these standout features and bidders responded accordingly. The car also came with full Ferrari Classiche documentation, a pristine service record, and all original accessories, including matching fitted luggage and factory tools. That sort of provenance is gold in the world of high-stakes collecting. Let's not forget, the LaFerrari was never officially road legal in the US in coupe form, making it even more desirable. So what made this sale so significant? Proved that even a car produced in relatively recent memory can dominate the collector scene if it checks all the right boxes. In this case, limited production, cutting-edge hybrid power, low mileage, and drool-worthy spec. As electrification continues to sweep the automotive world, the LaFerrari Coupe remains a marker in history as the moment when Ferrari fused combustion and current into pure greatness. And at nearly €3.55 million, the market made it clear this hybrid car is already legendary. Now we're getting serious as we head into the top 5. If you've been impressed with the car so far, get ready to have your mind truly blown. Number 5, Pagani Zonda LM Roadster. 2014, €9.56 million. At number 5, we have the absolutely outrageous 2014 Pagani Zonda LM Roadster, a car so rare and custom it makes other hypercars look mass-produced. This particular example tore up the record books when it sold for a jaw-dropping €9,557,346 at RM Sotheby's Dubai in December 24. This wasn't just a record for a Zonda, it was a loud, unmistakable announcement. The Zonda LM is collector royalty. Let's break it down. First off, Pagani only made 20 LM variants, and most of those weren't roadsters. The LM, short for Le Mans, line was inspired by track versions of the Zonda that featured enhanced aerodynamics, custom bodywork, and extreme attention to detail. Every LM's basically a hand-built fever dream tailored to its owner, often assembled from the wildest parts of Pagani's design catalog. And the power? Oh, it had plenty. Under the hood sat a roaring 7.3-liter naturally aspirated AMG V12, tuned to deliver insane performance and glorious unfiltered engine notes. Unlike modern-day hypercars that lean toward hybrid setups or EV tech, the Zonda LM Roadster stuck to its roots. Pure displacement, raw noise, and mechanical savagery. That kind of purist engineering gets serious love in collector circles, especially when paired with visuals that look like they belong in a sci-fi art exhibit. This specific LM Roadster came in a unique exposed carbon fiber finish, aggressive splitters and wings, and a set of custom wheels. The interior was equally bespoke with leather, carbon, and aluminum, all hand-finished in Pagani's workshop. And with the car's barely used mileage, the buyer got what amounts to a rolling sculpture in time capsule condition. So why the sky-high price? Simple. Rarity, personalization, and a cult-like following. Pagani doesn't mass-produce anything. Each car feels like a commissioned artwork, and Zondas especially are now seen as the last of the fully analog hypercars before hybrids and EVs take over. The LM Roadster is the rarest flavor of that legacy, and serious collectors knew it. Bottom line, this €9.5 million result cements the Zonda LM Roadster's place as the crown jewel of boutique hypercar craftsmanship. For many enthusiasts, the Zonda LM is a dream car, and it's a proven investment with aesthetic, mechanical, and historical value. And with so few out there, it's likely the next one, if it ever surfaces, will go for even more. Number 4, Pagani Huayra R, 2022, €3.04 million. Sneaking into 4th place with a head-turning result is the 2022 Pagani Huayra R, which blasted expectations with a €3,042,500 sale at RM Sotheby's Paris. Now, this wasn't your standard Huayra. This was the track-only, no-holds-barred Huayra R, the lightest, loudest, most outrageous interpretation of Pagani's engineering philosophy to date, and the bidders treated it as such. Right out of the gate, the Huayra R stood out with just 196 kilometers on the odometer, making it essentially factory fresh and untouched. Pagani only made 30 examples of this model worldwide, and this one hadn't even seen the full force of a racetrack yet. Combine that with the fact that these were offered to an exclusive buyer list, and what you get is a car rarer than most modern hypercars. The Huayra R's heartbeat is a 6-liter naturally aspirated V12 R engine developed with HWA, revving to 9,000 RPM and producing 850 horsepower. That's paired with a 6-speed sequential gearbox and a carbon monocoque chassis, tuned to deliver visceral performance without any hybrid interference. This wasn't made to comply with emissions or comfort regulations. This was built to scream on the track and take no prisoners. Design-wise, the Huayra R doesn't hold back. It features track-specific aerodynamics like massive diffusers, center-mounted exhaust, sculpted fenders, and a fighter jet-inspired cockpit. Every curve was optimized for downforce. The cabin? Stripped down to racing essentials with bare carbon fiber, digital telemetry, and integrated roll cage. This was race tech in its purest boutique form. So why did it sell so well? Because the Huayra R is Pagani's farewell to unfiltered V12 glory before regulations shut the door forever. It's an apex moment for analog engineering in an increasingly digital world. Buyers understood they weren't bidding on any old car, they were bidding on a future classic. A piece of art meets performance that will never be repeated. The result was a triple million euro sale that confirmed something critical. Modern hypercars can still shake up the auction world if they're rare, dramatic, and made by someone with a name like Horacio Pagani. And the Huayra R, it checked all those boxes and more. Heading into the top 3 now, we're getting seriously exotic and British. Number 3, Aston Martin Valkyrie Coupe, 2022, 2.3 million euro. Coming in hot at number 3 is the mind-bending 2022 Aston Martin Valkyrie Coupe, which hammered for a jaw-dropping 2,283,461 euro at RM Sotheby's Dubai auction in late 2024. This isn't your average weekend cruiser. This is Aston Martin at full send, with Formula One engineering DNA injected straight into its carbon fiber veins. Why all the hype? Simple. It was co-developed by Red Bull Racing's aerodynamic genius Adrian Newey, a name you rarely hear outside the F1 paddock. The Valkyrie was designed to look fast and was engineered to generate actual downforce levels seen in race cars. It's road-legal madness. Then there's a screaming, naturally aspirated 6.5-liter Cosworth V12 paired with a hybrid system, pushing output up to 1,160 horsepower. The noise? Glorious. The performance? Absolutely unhinged. And then comes the rarity factor. Only 150 coupes were ever made, each one essentially hand-built and personalized to extremes. Car sold in Dubai featured an aggressive spec with lightweight wheels, exposed carbon trim, and bespoke interior crews that scream money well spent. With under 100 miles on the clock, it was basically showroom fresh, except your average showroom doesn't smell like racing rubber and aerospace resin. Collectors clearly recognized the once-in-a-generation opportunity here. This is a car born from a dream collaboration, featuring a powertrain you won't see again and a chassis that redefines the concept of street legal. The Dubai bidding room lit up because, honestly, when else are you going to see one of these for sale? The horsepower gained a lot of plaudits, but the real beauty was about how art meets race science in the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie Coupe proved Aston Martin could punch above its weight and punch hard. A 2.3 million euro hammer price, well deserved. Number 2, Lamborghini Centenario LP774 Roadster, 2017, 1.75 million euro. Taking second place, the 2017 Lamborghini Centenario LP774 Roadster blew past expectations at RM Sotheby's Dubai 2024, slamming the gavel down at 1,750,043 euro. That's almost 2 million euros for a drop-top Lambo. Good thing the Centenario was more than another Aventador in fancy pajamas. It was a rolling tribute to founder Ferruccio Lamborghini, built to mark the brand's 100th birthday, and it brought all the fireworks you'd expect from a centennial celebration. Limited to no more than 20 roadsters, it came armed with a snarling 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 throwing down 770 horsepower. No turbos, no hybrids, only pure old-school Italian rage screaming through a titanium exhaust. This thing did 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 2.9 seconds and looked like it could slice through the atmosphere. What pushed the price up wasn't just the spec sheet, it was the uniqueness. Lamborghini gave each Centenario custom aero, a sharper chassis, and extreme detailing, like carbon fiber body panels and futuristic lighting setups. The Dubai example featured a satin finish and color-matched interior with commemorative touches all over, making it practically a Lamborghini museum piece that still throws flames. And then there's the rarity tax. Unlike limited edition Lambos from the past, the Centenario had a deeper sense of occasion. It wasn't meant to preview another model. It was a standalone halo car. Collectors love that. Throw in Lamborghini's sudden pivot toward electrification and you've got a last-of-its-kind naturally aspirated V12. That alone gave it some serious long-term value. What we saw in Dubai wasn't just a sale, it was a celebration of Lamborghini's wildest instincts, carefully bottled into 20 loud, low, and highly collectible machines. At over 1.75 million euro, this Centenario Roadster wasn't bought for driving alone, it was bought to sit in a climate-controlled vault of V12 loyalty. Number 1, Bugatti Centodieci, 2022 estimate, 10 to 15 million euro. Finally, we've hit number one, the big one. The car so rare, so fast, and so expensive that it barely feels real. The 2022 Bugatti Centodieci. When RM Sotheby's parents announced it was offering one of these unicorns in February 2025, jaws dropped. Why? Because only 10 of these were made, worldwide. Let that sink in. Estimated to sell between 10 to 15 million euro, this particular Centodieci came straight from private ownership with less than 1,000 kilometers on the clock. Its 1600 PS quad turbocharged W16 engine still fresh and angry. That's 236 mph top speed, wrapped in a body that pays homage to the legendary Bugatti EB110 from the 90s. It's a rolling flashback, but engineered with the most cutting-edge materials and precision in the game. This isn't some old concept revived for nostalgia points. The Centodieci was created to honor Bugatti's rebirth under Volkswagen and its historic connection to Campo Galliano. But beyond the tribute, it's a show of force. The design ditches the Chiron's curves for the EB110 style vents, vertical slats, and a blocky geometric tail that looks like it was drawn with intent. Every panel, every intake, every creased angle screams special edition. Collectors just don't throw 14 million euro around lightly, but with coach-built exclusivity, an active factory warranty through 2026, and a near unattainable VIN number, this sale was inevitable. It represents the very edge of modern hypercar collecting, a vehicle with both history and cutting-edge tech under one roof. There's no debate here. This isn't a hypercar, it's a hyper-unicorn. The Centodieci doesn't change hands often, and when it does, it makes headlines. This was a defining moment for 2025's hypercar auction season, and likely the most expensive European hypercar ever sold at RM Sotheby's. Now that you've seen the top cars sold at RM Sotheby's, which car do you think will grace the popular showroom next? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when a new video drops.